Good afternoon, dear viewers. This is Rajan, Assistant Professor, Department of Catering Science and Hotel Management, Hindusthan College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore. Today we are going to discuss about an interesting and informative topic on production process of a beer. Next slide please. In general, beer is a refreshing drink and we all know it has alcohol in it. Since it has great taste, it is also called as a perfect drink or a heavenly drink by the beer lovers. Next slide. If you ask me, how does a beer taste? I would say that the beer has a combination of these three qualities. One is malty, bittery and sweety. Next slide please. If you ask me to define a beer, I would define that beer is a fermented alcoholic beverage which is made from barley. We all know what is barley. It's a kind of cereal. And if you ask me, sir, what is fermentation here? Fermentation is very simple. An action of yeast or a reaction of yeast with any kind of product, that is called as fermentation. Here in beer production, the yeast reacts with the sweet liquid which is obtained from barley and gives off CO2 and alcohol. This process is called as fermentation. Next slide. So this is fermentation during the beer production. Actually these are all called as CO2. We all know what is CO2, and the alcohol stays down. Next. Ingredients used in beer production are barley, hops, yeast, sugar and water. We will see the characteristics of one by one of these ingredients. Next slide please. Barley gives a greater taste, a malty sweet flavor, it gives a good color to the beer. And next. Yeast produces CO2 and alcohol. Next. Hops are nothing, those are flowers which gives good aroma to the beer. Okay. There are two kinds of hops, one is bittery hops, another one is flavor hops. Both the hops are added at the same time. Next. Beer has 92% of water content. If you take any kind of beer, 90% of the beer has water in it. Next. Sugar is used in beer production to enhance the sweetness of the beer if required. Normally the barley itself has sweetness. If required, sugar is added at the end of the process. Next please. Before producing the beer in the factory, the first process, the primary process is the barley is soaked in the water and spreaded on the floor or a trip like this, and water is sprinkled or poured on top of the barley. It would be repeated for 3-4 times. After a week time, the barley will get germinated. Germination is nothing, it is making any kind of cereal like sprouting. We all know what is sprouting. So next slide please. So after a week time, the barley will comes in this condition. This is called as sprouting. So this sprouting will enhance the flavor of beer. Next slide. After the sprouting, the barley will be roasted with the use of machine. Earlier period, next, it is roasted using the firewood. Okay, next. After roasting, the barley will turn into this color. You can able to see the difference. So after roasting, we will obtain the barley in this condition. This color will enhance the color of the beer. Next. So after roasting, the barley comes to the factory. It comes to the milling process. Here it is milled into fine coarse powder, which is called as grist, G-R-I-S-T. Okay. The grist will be taken to the malting room or malting tank. Here hot water is added and the temperature has been increased to 60 to 70 degrees Celsius. After this it is filtered and transferred to the another tank. This stage the barley releases the sweet liquid. So that sweet liquid is called as wort, W-O-R-T. Then the wort transferred to the another tank. There they add hops. We add two types of hops, one is bitter hops, another one is flavor hops. So both the hops are added simultaneously and the temperature is also increased to 90 degrees Celsius. After some time the liquid is filtered and sent to the fermentation tank. Here the hot liquid is cooled into the room temperature, and after that the yeast is added. Adding yeast, the stage is called as pitching. Pitching means adding yeast. So here why do we reduce the temperature of the content? It is because the yeast works better below the room temperature. If it crosses the room temperature, then the yeast will not work. So make sure yeast plays a major role in fermentation. So after fermentation it will be moved to the condenser. The condenser will cool the entire beer, 80% of the beer done here. So it is cooled. After that it will be sent to bottling area. So there the bottling process will take on. Okay. Can we have the small recap with the use of video clip, the animation video? The important things, ingredients required to produce a beer are water, barley, sugar, yeast and hops. So that is what going to be look here. Water, malt is a kind of barley, hops and yeast, sugar added if required. So the sprouted barley will be milled. After milling it will be transferred to the tank. There hot water added, the temperature has been raised. This stage is called as mashing. After mashing the liquid will be filtered. Lautering means filtering. Filtered and sent to different tank. There it is again boiled. First bittering hops will be added and then immediately the aroma hops are added. Hops are a kind of flower which gives a good flavor to the beer, and it is mixed well, boiled for some time again and then immediately cooled. Next stage will be pitching. As I have told you, pitching is adding yeast. So yeast will be added. So fermentation takes place, the yeast reacts with the beer, it gives CO2 and alcohol. So sugar is added if required. Sugar also increases the fermentation process and makes the beer fermentation quicker, and then after that it is bottled. Okay, can we go to the slide please? Yeah, some beer terms are malting, grist, mash, wort, pitching, priming and fining. Malting is nothing, it is sprouting the beer, sprouting the barley. Grist, after the sprouted barley we are going to mill it, that product is called as grist. After that it will be sending to the mash tank. There hot water is added which is called as mash. Wort is a sweet liquid which is obtained from mash. Pitching is adding yeast. Priming is adding sugar, and fining is clarification. If anything reduced or increased, that can be done. Next. So if you have any questions you can ask me, otherwise I will say cheers to the beer, cheers to the topic, and I will see you in the next class with some other interesting topic. Thank you.